Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday morning to you. I hope that your day is going well. My day is going great because you know what? It's the day after buying all that meat, so it is going to be butchering day. So yesterday I added up all the meat that I got. I got over 200 pounds of meat. That's a lot of meat. So you look at it, you go, okay, that is a lot, but I'm gonna be able to feed our family. I kind of did a little calculation on the internet, and so it looks like if we eat, usually we eat casseroles, soups, that kind of stuff. We're not big meat eaters. We are meat eaters, but not like steaks every night type thing. And so it should last us over 2 months, 2 to 3 months, based on what we have. And we don't eat out much. Often the kids do, you know, they're with activities, they eat out, but we don't usually eat too many meals out. But so this should last us, I'm gonna say, for 3 months. So we are into, what are we into, March right now? This should last us all March, April, and May. So a great investment. Some people would say go buy a cow or buy, I guess, chickens, but you don't get always what you need. You know what I mean? It's like, cow's great if you got all the space, pretty much a whole freezer. If we had a whole nother freezer, I would. We just do not have the space in our garage. And then we'd still do chicken. We'd still do all that stuff. So for me, this is still an inexpensive way to feed my family. So my refrigerator is packed. It is packed full. All right, so everybody's coming down, so I'm getting sidetracked what I'm saying. And so anyways, we're gonna be prepping a lot of meat today. So I'm just gonna start. I've got my paper towels. I've got some vinegar. I don't even care if I go through a whole entire row. I'm gonna cut the meat right on my countertops. It's just easier. We're gonna do the ground beef. We're gonna make burger patties. We're gonna be prepping it for meals and freezing it and cooking some and doing chicken, cutting everything up, I'm gonna first cut up a ham. It's gonna be great. And then we'll have meat for months in our house, which is nice in the freezer. Always good to have something stacked up. So you ready for a great time? All right, let's go. Okay, first things first, I got this big giant ham at Gordon Food Service. So it says 4 pounds. I mean, it's about 4 pounds in here. So there's a lot of ham in here. So I'm gonna cut this, made a big giant list of all the meals that we are gonna have over the next few months. And so I just wrote, cut up ham into 3 meals. So maybe even 4, we'll see how much it is. So I'm just gonna cut it, dice them up, put them in Ziploc bags, got a marker, label everything, get all the air out as much as I can, and we'll freeze them solid. So let's just chop. Okay, back in my day when I used to do this stuff, I would never have a really sharp knife. I've learned over the years, having a sharp knife is amazing. Night and day difference. So I have the electric knife sharpener. Genius, that's a great thing. But if you don't want to invest in one of those, go get I think at Lowe's, it's a diamond blade sharpener. Pretty sure that's what we used to have. That works really good too, a manual one, but that will work real well for getting your stuff done. So this right here, it's literally, this looks like the ham we just cooked the other day from Aldi. So I think I'm just gonna do like this. So for us, we probably would not have a ham, like a ham meal. I'm not thinking. So I'm gonna cut it up because I'm gonna put it in like a slow cooker and do it with potatoes and green beans and then ham skillet, because that's just the way everybody likes it. I might take one and slice it. We'll just see how things go. But let me just cut this up. Using the cookie sheet helps because it collects all the liquid in the dripping. So I'll probably just put a few out. Maybe that's how I'll do my meat today so it doesn't drip all over the counter. I don't mind letting it drip, but then it won't have to drip. You know what I mean? So let's cut this up. It's gonna be so weird because it's gonna be mostly me doing things and not talking so much. But one thing yesterday, remember how I found that liquid yogurt? That doesn't sound very good. And I was like, surely this is a Danimals. It is exactly like Danimals. They said it was a little bit thicker, but they thought it was delicious. They're like, what is that, strawberry milk? Anybody else remember strawberry milk? Like Nesquik as a kid? Is that what it was called, Nesquik? I think it was. Yeah, so they've never had strawberry milk, but they've had Danimals and they like Danimals. So I said, look at this, they loved it. So that was definitely a great purchase. So check if your kids like Danimals, check local Walmart and see if they have that. I've never seen it before, but I've never been looking for it before. So that's really good. And then yes, I guess you could just make it with yogurt with more milk. Is that how you make it more watery? I don't know how you make your own homemade Danimals. For me, I made my own homemade yogurt. The kids like the flavored kind. So for the amount that they eat now, some like the plain, but it's just easier for me to buy the tub, just this phase of my life. And then Jensen, I never ever can get lactose-free yogurt. One time I saw lactose yogurt. I'm sure it's at some fancy store. I just have never seen it. And usually it's coconut, and he does not like, I was like, what is that? And usually he does not like coconut based. So I know that they have coconut based for,
Love you, Mom.
bye, love you too. Coconut based for the yogurt. He just does not like the coconut based one. So I was very excited. He really likes it. So I'm like, let me know if the message would tummy up. But he said it did. He's been drinking it. So I'm excited for that one because that's a good find for sure. I guess if you wanted to, I just told the kids, I'm like, you're gonna have to ration out your amount of stuff you drink instead of pouring it into a big giant glass. Because you literally just get like 2 little drinks out of the little bottles. But they're like, okay, we'll do that. But they really enjoyed it today. Wow, this ham. Oh, did I just cut 2? No. I was like, did I just cut this one up? There's a lot of ham for this ham. This was a great purchase on here. So I'm very happy with this one. Glad I got this one. It doesn't look too fatty. It looks very good. So this will be great because the meals we'll have with ham. Again, we like the potatoes, green beans, and just throw it in the slow cooker. That will get eaten. They love the ham skillet. That's something they do enjoy eating from it. But even if we wanted to cook some, we could put it in with something too. We don't normally have like ham in our eggs and stuff. I guess we just don't that much eat it that way. But so it's good. All right, so we'll keep chopping here, get this cut up, and then put it in some bags, and we'll have our first thing done. Okay, I just literally did 1 bag. That's a lot of ham. I was like, usually leave it for leftovers. I use a quart bag. Get out there as best you can. This is just a gallon bag. Look at that. That's a lot of ham. Wow. It makes me go, do I save it for ham dinner? We'll see. So, okay, yeah, that's awesome. That's a lot of meat. So that is a lot of meat. I'm just looking at it going, wow. All right, well, you know what? We can use it, and I can always just take out half because it's cut. It'll be easy to rip apart, so do what you can do. Worse when you literally cut your skin. I'm like, oh, I did barely touch it and it cut it. So now I have to keep changing this Band-Aid 20,000 times. And then I also have this right here. Look at Maxine. She's like, I smell raw meat. You do. You already had a piece. I know. You had some already. She's like, I'm going to be in your presence all day, Mom. So, okay. I think this next one, I'm like, that's such a big thing. I think I'm going to take this next one and put it in smaller bags because it's a lot of ham. I feel like that's so much ham for a meal for us. So let me do them in smaller. Okay, I'm 50. That's gonna make me go lightheaded. I was like, I've always seen people do it. I don't usually ever care about getting the air out, but I'll do my best. It's got some in there. Will I suck it all in? Probably not. I ended up with two hams here because that is enough to feed us. It doesn't look like much, but I don't usually eat ham. Greg likes ham. The kids have a piece. This will be like 2 full dinners. And this ham right here, I planned on 3 of these little bags. I ended up with 1, 2. I'd have 4 of these little bags. So ham is done. Yay. Let me put that and clean up my pans here. We'll get started on the next one. All right, the next thing I purchased was this big giant pork spare rib. There's a 2 count. This was cheaper. It's actually Smithfield brand, which I saw at Walmart. $2.19 a pound was still cheaper than Walmart. So the only person that likes ribs is Greg. Normally, Steven sometimes has it. Sometimes, no ma'am. Seems like, mommy. So I think I'm just gonna take, instead of doing the whole entire rack, I think I'm gonna cut them in half, and then that way they can fit into a bag. And then that way, if I just want to cook one for him while we have something else, so that, because kids probably have like hot dogs versus a spare rib where he would like ribs. So I think I'm gonna do that so nothing goes to waste. I'm like, where do I cut of this thing? And I'm like, oh, there's so much fat. So I'm gonna cut some of the fat off, not all of it, because I know it's good for cooking. So I'll cut and trim a little bit, and then be good. I was laughing. I'm like, there's nowhere I'm gonna put that straw in there and suck that raw meat out of there. We'll skip it. We'll push it down as best I can. So that's good. 4 meals of ribs and the ham. I'm gonna put those in my freezer because I'll carry it out as I fill my box up, so it's easier. So I don't have to go back 100 times. Our roll. We might as well just keep on going, chopping things. I gotta cook like hamburger and that, but I'm like, let's move it. I'm taking what's at the top of my freezer, moving the way down. So the next one is the beef roast. I picked up an round roast. This was $5.29 a pound. Still cheaper than Sam's Club. So I wrote down to cut this into 3 meals. Maybe it'll be 4 since it's so big. I'll take 2, cut them into little chunks because we'll use it for beef and broccoli. I saw a recipe for like a Yorkshire pudding. Now I know what it is. You make a Yorkshire pudding bowl and then cook the roast and just slice it with mashed potatoes and carrots. I'm like, that looks really good. And then we'll do like in our beef burritos, we really like those shredded. You basically cook it till it's real tender and pull it apart. They like that too. So I'll probably take it and divide it into 4, break it up for 4 dinners, and then that'll be good. So let's just chop this up. As I'm cutting this, I'm like, oh, I need to get this thinner, and it's when you start cutting meat and you're like, I forgot I have the ultimate slicer. Totally forgot I have it. Let me go get it. This, I think it's Once for All. That's the name of it. Totally forgot I have this. This works amazing. Let me see how, oh my goodness, I just totally forgot I have this. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, the knife's working great, but it's like so much cutting. You know what I mean? So this works. You literally watch this. This I'm gonna save for a whole, but if you just put this in, it'll come up little chunks here. And put this across here. Look at that. Look at nice and thin pieces. Totally forgot. Okay, we're gonna do all of this like this. All right, I'm glad I remembered that before I got done. I was like, completely forgot. That thing is amazing. So it cuts everything so thin. So you can actually go through and cut it the other way. We don't love chunks of beef. Like, we're not a big roast family. I'm gonna say when I cut it as a roast. But like, I grew up with roast. We had roast with mashed potatoes and carrots. That's what my mom would have. These kids, they do not. And the reason why is because roast are expensive and we have never really done it. So I like to get beef and then do like beef with broccoli. They'll have that way. And so like a beef and broccoli dish or beef bowls with some, you know, like rice and stuff like that on the sides. So any kind of like beef bowls, things like that. And then we do take it and use it for beef burritos. They like beef and bean burritos. They really like that when I made that last time. So I'm gonna try like it looks like a Yorkshire pudding. I think someone mentioned it. I was thinking, whenever I hear Yorkshire pudding, I was thinking like a pudding dish, like a bread pudding. But it actually looks like a popover in a bowl. I'm like, that looks like a fun little dinner. So I think we will do that one day. With the roast, we'll cook it and make it real, hopefully good, and just kind of maybe pull it apart like in little shreds, I guess is we'll see what we do with it. But that is what we're gonna do with these beef ones. So I'm gonna, and I just like cooking the beef and having like, you can put over salad or you can put it over anything. It's just that good. So this is gonna put this in my box here. And I'll like sit in my box full and I'll carry it out to the freezer. So it's not too bad. I made Max's bed so she can sit there because she's like enamored with the smell in here. All right, is this really gonna fit the roast? Let's see. Never get your permanent marker wet. Always write on your bags first. When you do it after, they always get wet and they never work. So I'm gonna have to let that dry. Let me get my next stuff. Okay, the next one I'm gonna do is chicken drumsticks. I could just put this whole thing in my freezer. That's fine. Let me tell you what happens. So I go to thaw this. It's a weird shaped thing. Usually the refrigerator's full, doesn't fit. And it never thaws. You can't really thaw it in the sink because my container I thaw my stuff in is not big enough. So, and then usually there's a couple extra drumsticks. I gotta count how many's in here. How many's in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3. There's 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 12. So I feel like 3, 6, 9, 4, 8. Well, maybe the boys like 4 each, right? I guess they'll eat 4. All right, so I guess we'll do 4. 12 in a pack. So what I'm going to do, anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to season these. I'm going to put in here, we are going to put Old Bay seasoning, Lori's seasoning salt in here, and just kind of coat these really well and put them in a bag. I know, sounds bad, but that way, when I go to thaw them, the bag at least be a lot more flatter to fit in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? And not have to worry about a big giant case. So this is, I'm going to use Old Bay because I have a lot of it. I'll put a little bit of seasoning salt, and then they like to put it and serve it with buffalo sauce. That's their favorite. I was just gonna put seasoning on those, but then I was like, I have some hot sauce. I did order another jug of hot sauce, so I thought I'm gonna use that rest of that up. Because one thing I don't like is when you're on the grill trying to squeeze on the hot sauce because it just drops down in the grill. So this will be good. So I have 10, that's how many I need. I went through everybody. I'm like, how many drumsticks would you eat at a meal? So 10 for each, for the boys, like the 3 boys. And then I have 1 extra with 8. So if we need extra or just have less people, I can do that. So I'm gonna go throw this in the freezer and I'll come back and we'll start with something else.
Is your hair?
Maddie came here. I said, look, Maddie, my skin matches your hair. Sorry, Maddie.
I promise I don't look this white in real life.
For some reason,
I'm actually tan. I just look so.
She does have. It is very white for you. You are tan. Like looking at your face, you're like.
I am tan. I don't.
That's so funny. She was just looking at the camera. She's like, "It's your favorite, Maddie," and I'm like, I said, "Look, Maddie." I said, "My face matches your hair." That's okay. It's all good. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make hamburger patties. So I can put them on a cookie sheet, freeze them, and then I'll stack them in my freezer. So I'm gonna take that big giant roll here. I was looking up. I'm like, how can you make them where they're uniform? Because that was my concern was like, if you make them, they're just gonna be like not shaped right and be all weird. And then I saw someone do a video and she used one of these. And I was like, genius. I don't know if I should use the biggest one or not. I guess that's a pretty big patty. She put this on her scale, took out, I think it's a 1/4 pound for each burger, smash it down. That's the key. So what I'm gonna do is take my meat, put it in a bowl, I'm gonna put a bunch of seasonings. I got a lot of onion powder, I've got the Lori seasoning, and we've got the salt, pepper, and garlic. Kinder's blend. I'm just gonna mix it up real well, get it mixed up real good, and then we'll weight on scale, put it on a cookie sheet so it can freeze solid, and then I have wax paper sheets I'll put in between, and we'll pack it up for like 8 for for like our meals. And so you usually get 40 in a box, so I should be able to get 40 out of this 10 pounds. Okay, so I added, that hamburger was real, what's the word? It's not as soft to smush it around, that's fine. I just added some water. I found that I did that before and it just makes it a whole lot easier. So I added some water. It mixed up real well. So I remember way back in the day, someone said, you can cook a small one in your pan to see if it tastes good. I'm like, genius, because to me, I go by smells. Like when I add spices to things, I'm like, that smells good. And usually I'm pretty on track. So it smells delicious. The key with these will be amazing burgers because they're gonna be nice and flavorful. So this may be a new thing for sure. So I'm gonna just cook literally these tiny little patties over here and then we'll form them. So I literally made a tiny patty. Wow. Flavor is amazing. Okay, so that tastes delicious, very good. So now I'm gonna use the scale here, do a 1/4 pound and just make them in patties. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how's the best way to make the perfect patty. So they're a 1/4 pound when you buy them in the store. So I think I'm just gonna put them into a ball, smush them down, kind of use that cookie thing around there. I don't even know how, they must have more than a 1/4 pound. So I think that's what they're, 1/4 pound? Yeah, they're a 1/4 pound, just thinner. So, all right, let's keep making a whole bunch more.
Got a zombie virus.
She could be. Okay, this is gonna take me 5,000 years to do. I can see why they're already packaged and you save a buck, but they taste 10,000 times better than one at the store. The problem is I have to get them consistent, and that's where I'm struggling with. So it's like smushing with this, but it's like sticking to this. So then I'm like thinking, my mom used to have that hamburger press. Anybody else remember from Tupperware? Like, well, plastic not sticks. So I thought, let me get 2 lids and try smushing it that way. And then I'm thinking these are a lot smaller than a frozen patty. They obviously shrink. Are these gonna shrink? I forgot. I gotta put like an indent in the middle too. So I'm not sure. They taste good. It's all about the flatteningness. So I'll probably, the good thing is I do homemade hamburger buns. So worst case is I just make my buns. The first ones will probably be like, oh, they're way too big, or you know what I mean? So I'm stacking because I'm like, I'm not gonna have cookie sheets because I literally have to make 40 of these. I'm like, did I do that right? So I'm thinking if I just put 2 layers and freeze it, that should pull off, and I may be able to do more. So let's try the plastic, because that's the other, that's what I'm thinking, because it's just gonna cook and they're gonna be all weird. Okay, I actually don't want to stack it because it is gonna stick on it. So the pie freeze faster too. So I will put 9, I usually cook 8 patties, so 9 patties at a time, because that's what fits on a cookie sheet. That'll work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9. Let's do 9. Be hopeful. This is a trial and error, see how it goes. Okay, that went a lot better. Forget the plastic. I'm like, it just wants to stick to everything, so you don't want to do that. And then forget the rings. I'm like, you know what? Just flatten it as best you can. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that. These are going to freeze solid, and like I said, we're going to stack them that way. So, okay, just keep going, flatten them. I'm like sitting here trying to make these all perfect, and I'm like, in reality, it's not working. So let me get another cookie sheet out and put some more paper on it, make some more. Someone's not telling the truth here. So Sam's Club, the box says a 1/4 pound for each burger patty. Obviously mine, I measured mine out, a 1/4 pound. So that is definitely, they must be adding more. They gotta be adding more, right? Because I have 40 patties right now, and that would be roughly 10 pounds. So I still have about half, only about half is gone here. So I think we can either do them bigger or do them thinner. So I think the kids would like them thinner. I don't mind what they are. So I will just do the same amount. I'll do that entire roll for hamburger patties. And then I usually just cook 8, but I'll probably cook a little bit more because they're thinner, you know what I mean? And then when we eat them, we'll be eating them for months. If we decide, the thin's not as, I mean, like thin will be fine because it'll be like a slider, right? So sliders are fine. So I'm not worried about that. I do have to make sliders actually too, but that's gonna be with another loaf. So, all right, so I'm not sure. Quarter pounder, I don't even know. Let me see here. I'm debating to go back and forth. Okay, so I love burger. Greg loves a burger. The kids are always like, they don't always love burgers. So I think the thinner will be better. So you know what? We'll make them small. I was like, do I do more meat? They say you can do a 1/3 cup. That would be more like a pub-sized burger. That's fine. We'll just have more. That's okay. So let me get more cookie sheets out because I'm just stacking them in my freezer. All right, that's like 65, 68 patties at a 1/4 pound. I weighed them. Obviously, if you were over 1/4, I don't really think I went under. Did I read my scale wrong? Is it 2.5? That was the ounces. Yeah, I'm like thinking I did that right. So before I start complaining, I want to double check, make sure I didn't do that wrong. So no, it's 2.5 ounces. So it says a 1/4. All right, it was my mistake. I know what I did wrong now. Anybody else? I have been measuring out 2.5. Thinking it's a 1/4 pound. No. I need more like 4 ounces. That's a 1/4 pound. So that would be why my burgers are smaller. So Sam's Club is not a liar. I just messed up. So, okay, so these are just more small burgers. I was like, So Greg, I said, what do I do? Do I just leave them or do I smush them together? He goes, no, that'll be great because they'll be like a Culver's. You know, they get a small burger patty or McDonald's. 2.5 ounces is not a 1/4 pound. It's not a 1/4 pound. It sounds like it is. It's not. Okay. It's okay. I'll put these in the freezer. All right, I had to go back through and like question my mind. Is that fine? Should I go smush all the patties together? I'm like, it's good. I think of like when we go to Culver's and they get like a double patty, you get, like 2 patties. So that's fine. Or like a slider. I'm going to make sliders just a lot smaller. But in reality, I'm like, I think I just made them all. It's all good. So while they're the good thing is they'll freeze real quick. So that's a positive. So while they are freezing, I don't want to put any more stuff because all my cookie sheets are filling pretty much every area in the refrigerator or freezer right now. So I want to work on something that's not going to be required to go in there right now. And it's just cooked hamburger. This will be for, I'm going to do I said 15 pounds. I guess I'll do a roll. I'll do a roll and a half. And so, basically, I'm gonna put this with the onions, that's it. I was gonna chop them up in my massive food chopper, but I'm like, you know what? Puree them. They're like smaller pieces, that'll be fine. And then we'll just cook them on the stove over here and that'll work. So this will be used for anything you want. You wanna have taco meat, pull it out. You wanna make tater tot casserole, pull it out. You want anything, spaghetti, tater tot casserole, tacos, nachos, anything. The meat will already be cooked and you won't have to worry about it. So since we're doing 15 pounds, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I do all 7? I'll do 6 onions and just cook it in there, so that'll be real simple. Okay, the next thing I saw someone make it, and I'm like, ooh, that looks almost like, remember how you buy, like, I guess it's Steakums, I think that's what it's called. Remember when I was looking for meat for Maddie's roast beef sandwiches, and I was like, do I already buy the meat that's already long like that? And so, and it cost a lot. No big deal. I was gonna do it for birthday, but like, we wouldn't buy it all the time. I happened to see a video, someone was making, I could be saying this wrong, a donair. It's a Canadian meat. So what they did, basically they took, now the spices they put into me didn't sound good. So maybe original one is good, whatever, that's fine. But I'm thinking to make my own flavoring. So I'm gonna do onion in my meat, my salt, pepper, and garlic, and onion powder, and seasoning salt, basically like a burger patty. I'd be doing the same thing. So what you do with this, you mix it really well, and then you put it between parchment paper, and then you fold up the parchment paper. And so it's got like a long strip, and you bake that whole thing in the oven. I think it was 400 degrees for 30 minutes, and then when you take it out, you kind of shake it off a little bit. It's got strips of meat. They're like really thin, and I'm like, oh, that's genius. So I thought that looked really good. So in my head, I was like, we could do it with pita. They did it with different meats. I'm just doing hamburger because that's what I have. And I thought I could do Philly cheesesteak that way as well. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna just do it with this 5 pounds that I have here because I have it. And I'll put onion in there. I have a little bit of buttery steakhouse. I'm just gonna use this up because it's very little. It smells good. So let's mix this up and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, these look like they'd be my favorite. So they're basically a hamburger, but it'll be like strips of meat. So that's what I'm thinking, like the steakums. Greg used to like those. I don't even, did we? I'm sure we bought them that one time. I'm sure we did way back in the day. But you know, they're costly over the years. And so this is good. And then we'll freeze these. Probably, you know, I think the donairs had like coriander seed in it, and it had like a bunch of like cumin and stuff. I'm just like, I feel like if I just keep it like neutral, it will probably be well more loved. You know what I mean? Like if you had green peppers, that would have been good to put in here too. But that's okay. You can put green peppers in with the, like green peppers and onions. You can do like Philly cheesesteak subs. So I think this is really good. So, all right, keep rolling out here, make some more. All right, people, I feel like these are gonna be my favorite things. I don't even know. They might be too thick. I'm not sure how thin to actually make everything. Some are a little bit thinner than others. This last one was thicker because I was like, sure I can have it, but I feel like they're gonna be amazing. So do you do them a little bit thinner? I'm like going through, I'm like questioning myself. I just don't know how thin to make them. I think they'll be fine. So those are gonna go in the freezer. They're gonna freeze solid. We'll start on something else. Since my 1/4 ounce burgers are frozen, semi-frozen, I'm gonna wrap them. I've got this, I think Miss Carol got me some deli paper, and this is a little bit smaller, but it'll work perfect for patties. So thank you for that. So I'm gonna wrap them in between, and then I forgot how many patties I do in a bag. So I've got 2 packages, 16, and then this has a little bit because I gotta wait till the other ones. Let me put these out in the freezer. All right, so I ordered some stuff from Sam's Club, and one of the things I needed was breadcrumbs. And so I placed the order this morning. Somebody dropped off like 5 things, and then there's still a delivery tonight. I'm not sure why they don't put them all together, but that's okay. I guess I give somebody else a job, right? So I was thinking I'm gonna make, I took a package, I've got 2 more rolls of hamburger. doing good. I cut them up, so I've got about 2.5 pounds for each one. So I'm thinking, I was like gonna make some meatballs, but we still have porcupine meatballs in the freezer. So I don't think I might do those. We'll see. I'll see how many. I have to go actually and count how many, but I'm thinking to do 2 meatloaf and 2 Salisbury steaks, because we do enjoy, or they'll eat it, they'll tolerate it. And somebody gave me the recipe for the meatloaf, and it's tomato sauce. It's basically like an Italian, because it's breadcrumbs, tomato sauce, Italian seasoning, garlic, parsley, that kind of stuff, and that was really good. So I'm thinking I'll do 2 of those and then put them in a bread pan. Have this amount in my freezer, and I'm like, oh, do I wait? So I don't know. I could mix something else up, but what else am I gonna make actually? Little sliders? They just haven't, it hasn't said like they're on their way yet. So I'll start mixing with this and we'll see how we go. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna put 2 of these in there. It's gonna be 5 pounds. I'll put tomato sauce, the spices, some Parmesan cheese, and then mix up with breadcrumbs. So for meatloaf, usually I just do it and form it so it'll fit in my slow cooker. So I thought if I do a little pan, it depends on how many people are here, I can make just 1 and throw it in the small oven, or I could do 2 in the slow cooker. So I'm just putting them in here so they can freeze solid, and then I'll pull them out and put them in a bag. So I'll put some holes in the middle just to make it cook faster or easier. I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. I didn't film that, but just a little bit. I should go out to my freezer and get more, but it'll be good to stick on top if we want to or whatever. We'll see. So these 4 are good. Put these in the freezer, and I'll go check my other hamburgers. Okay, this is my Salisbury steak. I think it's actually my mom's Salisbury steak. So in it, it is seasoned breadcrumbs, which they're not seasoned. That was just like leftover. I don't even know if I ground up a bagel or what I did, but that's that in there. It's mustard and ketchup. It's a 1/4 cup each. So I did about 1/2 cup each, and then beef bouillon. I didn't show putting that in there. A little bit of beef bouillon. You do Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper. I did salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. And I added some more onions from I forgot I have some in the thing right here. And then I'm like, the good thing about making your meals and most of your meat now, it's like you're using up your stuff. So I went to my spice cupboard. I'm like, I gotta make sure to use these ones up too. So, all right, mix this up. I gotta actually add eggs. You don't have to add eggs. Me growing up, Salisbury steak was soft. I remember eating Banquet. Anybody else have Banquet Salisbury steak? That's what we had. And so it was just softer. So I feel like when you make it, it's real tender. So you have to, if you don't add the eggs, then it's kind of, it falls apart and be smushy. You know what I mean? So I like to add a little bit in there to make it, but that's it. Roll it up, and I'll make little log patties, put on a cookie sheet, freeze them, and we'll have 2 dinners worth of Salisbury steak. So we use 6 per dinner, so there's enough for 3 dinners there. So that's good. So we put these in the freezer. We're getting there. I'm almost done. I got another package of meat. Gotta figure out what to do with it. All right, how do you do the last little bit of meat that you have? There's so many things I can make, but I also want to make things that we're gonna eat. You know what I mean? Like variety. It sounds good. You're only having the same things, but in reality, people kind of eat the same thing every week. How many people have 30 different dinners every month? Do you not repeat like spaghetti every Tuesday? Or tacos every Tuesday, spaghetti every Wednesday? I don't know, maybe you don't. Maybe everybody does a bunch. We do variety. But I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I want to get too crazy. Like I was thinking I'll make meatballs, but for spaghetti and meatballs, they don't like spaghetti and meatballs. They like spaghetti and meat sauce. So no sense making that. I have 3 packages in my freezer of the porcupine meatballs. I very well might make one of those because or a couple, like take 2 pounds here and do some of that because we do enjoy that. And it's like 3 will go, like one a week, that's like 3 weeks, those will go away. One thing I wrote down is just to take 1.5 pounds of meat and just freeze it raw, because when you do these freezer meals, this is awesome, having all your meat prepped, but there's always a time when you go, oh, I wish I could have raw hamburger and I can make whatever with it. And so I always skip that step. So I saved 3 packages here, and so, or 3 cuts here. So I'm gonna put those in quart bags here and just freeze those flat. So that way, whatever I wanna make with it, if I do wanna cook it into something, I can cook it into something. So let me label my bags, do that. The other one I'm gonna do, I'll start making sliders. Basically my hamburger, but much smaller. Amy, I know. So I think I will take one, I'll put the rest of the onions in it. Yeah, there's onions, and I will do the seasonings to season it up, and then I'll make real small sliders because I'm thinking, like Brooklyn made these Big Mac sliders and they were delicious. Basically it'd be a burger but small and mini. So I'm thinking I'll make a bunch of those, just small round patties, so we can fry them and we can have them on little tiny brioche buns and make nice Big Mac sliders. So I think that'll be good. And then I'm getting done with my beef, which is awesome. I still have all my chicken. You're gonna see me, I'm gonna do that tomorrow, but I'll keep it in today's video. You'll have a really long video. I haven't done a meal prep in a long time, but back in the day, my back got sore too, but you know, you get older. I'm over 50, so, or I'm 50 plus. So it's all good. All right, raw meat. I'm just gonna put raw meat or hamburger. I guess I could put raw hamburger, raw meat. We'll just put raw meat. That's a good way to explain it. So let me put these in here and then we'll mix it for the sliders. All right, we're getting further and further along. So these are great. These basically look like the hamburgers. They're probably 1/4 ounce, just like the other ones. It's okay. So I'm gonna go put these in the freezer. I did put this on top because I feel like they would be okay. And then I'll put my raw meat in there, and then we'll mix up the rest. I'm doing the porcupine meatballs, right? Let's do the porcupine meatballs because those are our favorite. So we don't need breadcrumbs. No breadcrumbs, it's rice. So, okay, in the breadcrumbs, there was like Czech cereal. I think I had pretzels, and there was like a mixture of our snack mix and some bread. So let's go put this into freeze. All right, so now I'm gonna do the last little bit of ground beef here is gonna be attributed to porcupine meatballs. They're a favorite, they're a staple, they are something that I made these with our older kids and no one liked them. But maybe I didn't make the sauce correctly. I don't know, maybe this was before, did I use slow cookers? I did use slow cookers. I might have cooked the meatballs like in the oven and then put the sauce in. It was just kind of like pokey, but if you put them in a slow cooker, it absorbs and it makes a nice thick sauce. So I don't know. But anyways, they love it. So I might as well, this is probably about 2.5 pounds here left. I'm gonna do a cup of rice for this and then 2 eggs, basically parsley, garlic, onion, and Italian seasoning, right? Yes, and mix it up and I'll do the little meatballs, which I'm gonna put in another pan that I'm using, running out of pans. And then that'll be my last beef, which is awesome. So I gotta take my stuff over here is cooked, put it in bags, and the beef is done, and clean up my mess and get a new apron for the next day. So that way it's good. I don't mind doing what I used to do back in the day, freezer meals all day long and work for like 24 hours straight, but that was when life was busier with kids. My kids are teens now. I could work all day anyways, but I do want to enjoy the pool because they're in it right now. It's nice and warm and I'm like, it would feel great right now. So I'm gonna finish up so I can get out there, and then the kids come and help pick up very little that we have to do, but overall amazing for right now for everything that we got done. So let's mix these up. when you do your meat, I have found if I take away all the liquid and then reheat it, it's drier. You know what I mean? So I do like to have the grease in there. I don't mind grease in there. And so that works. So now I'm just gonna get the air out of these. I'll probably put these in the inside freezer, maybe the inside freezer here, let's see. And then my meat cooking. Beef part is done. I've got to do all my chicken. I've got 2 cases of chicken in there that I will work on in the morning tomorrow, but I'll show you in today's video. Do you like a longer video or do you like 2 different videos? Some people like to sit for, and I don't know how long it's gonna be, an hour or so. Some people like to be done. I know most people like short videos, right? Like the 20-minute ones. I broke those rules a long time ago. So I don't know if maybe meal prep is a little bit different though, because it's something fun to see everything. So, okay, I'm gonna squeeze these, take these out, and then wipe everything down. All right, we are continuing this video into the next day. So, had a great rest yesterday, swam for a little bit, got to rest my body, and ready to start my morning this morning. Got to sit down with God's Word and be encouraged, which is a very important thing to do. So, went out to my freezer and got all the meat that I had frozen out there. So, I'm going to package this all up in bags here, and then we will start on the chicken. So let's put it all away. I was just looking at my freezer. I'm like, how nice to have like all of this food in the freezer. It's a good thing to be able to have food for your family, not have to worry, have it done. That's the most important. So it's always a good feeling, isn't it? Having everything stacked up here. So, all right, let's put these in bags. Okay, I got these all stacked. I forgot to put the dates on as I'm putting them in here. Normally I could care less about the dates, but there will be a time that we pretty much will go through this in the next few months. But there will be a time when we go through most of it and there's still like a few bags in there and I'm like, yeah, we'll make it. I am most excited about these. I am so excited to make these. It was fun because yesterday we had leftovers in the refrigerator, and so the kids were like, what are we having for dinner tonight? And I'm like, leftover pasta in the refrigerator, and they're like, but what were you cooking all day? And I'm like, I know, it smelled so good. All that beef, I'm like, oh, all I want to do was make a slider or a burger with those thin patties. And it's so funny because when you're doing a huge freezer meal day like this, the last thing you want to do is cook. The last thing you want to do is attend to anybody or do anything. So I always recommend, don't plan anything else, mamas. I have a freezer book that I gathered a lot of the recipes from that I've done on my freezer meals over the years. It's funny because once you go through all of them, they're all like the same. So they're really all the same. So what I did is I put it together and I broke it up for you guys. That is linked below if you want that one in my freezer. It's Freezer Meals Made Easy. Basically, it goes through and gives you a grocery list and it breaks it up for your week. Like me, myself, I like to do a whole bunch in one day, but like if you want to fill your freezer full of breakfast foods. So it goes through and it tells like your pancakes and waffles for one day. The next day might be your muffins. The next day might be, you know, some kind of egg dishes. And so it just kind of breaks it up so that by the end of the week, you have a whole lot of stuff in your freezer. And so it does that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and desserts. So if you want to do freezer meals and don't know how, check that one out. I know there's like freezer packs and things you can buy where it's got specifics in that, but this book gives you everything. It gives you a lot of different recipe ideas that I've used over the years for freezer meals and just breaks it down into easy, bite-sized ways to make it, because not everybody can sit and plan. Like I sometimes have a hard time planning out a month's worth of meals. Like I had to sit and stare at this for a few days and go, okay, do I got it? Do I got it? Make sure I got everything. And then even doing my monthly like huge stock up for groceries. I've been making my list and it's been there for a few days and I keep going back. And even last night, I I went over it again, looked through everything. Okay, what else do I need to get to stock up on? And so again, I'll look at my list today. What else do I need to get to stock up on so that we have stuff? It takes time, and so the book takes the guesswork out of it. It'll just let you go, okay, let's make all your beef meals today. Let's make all your chicken meals today. It just makes it a little bit easier for people that want to freeze their meals. So for me, this is great because it's not complete meals, but I can go to my freezer and grab a meatloaf, because who wants to thaw meat and mix it up that day? Not me. I did it, but I prefer to have everything done. So let me go put these out to my freezer so we can get them frozen solid. All right, we're ready to start on the chicken. So I've got this huge, I've got 2 cases of chicken. They are 40 pounds of chicken. This is a boneless, skinless chicken butterfly breast. Huge. They're huge because I got, actually, hold on one second. Forgot I had 1 whole bag of this. I bought some of this, remember I bought a case of it, so I have a whole bag. And I had some ground chicken that I forgot that I had when I purchased last time. So it was thawing in the refrigerator. It's still a little bit frozen, so I'm gonna put in some cold water because I'm gonna be working with it today. So these things, they're humongous and they work great. They are like just big chunks of meat. So when I get the smaller breasts, sometimes it's like the ones from Sam's Club, Walmart. You gotta work around all the fat, the veins, all that stuff. I do not like it. This, it's such a big piece that like it's easier to cut it out. And even for the price, what did I pay, $1.64 a pound, I believe, for these? I believe this is $1.64. Could be wrong. Like yesterday, the measuring at my scale, it was I want to say $64 for 40 pounds. So I think it was $1.64. So even if I cut off a lot of it, some people say, oh, you're wasting a lot. In reality, like, it's okay because I'm still saving a ton. You know what I mean? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my Sam's Club order. Came last night at 9 o'clock at night, which was awesome. So I've got my breadcrumbs right here. I don't mind making them. I just did not have a lot of them made. So I'm going to make a bunch of ground up chicken. Now, last time I bought a package at Sam's Club, someone said, why don't you just buy it at Sam's Club? It's cheaper. Well, I looked, and it really was, because when you do it yourself, when you have the smaller pieces, sometimes you get those veiny pieces in there, and you have to like pick through them, and it's just, I think it's just yuck. So I was like, why don't I just buy it? It really wasn't more just to buy it, but I went to go look for it again, and my store was out of stock. So some have it, some don't all the time. So I feel like, all right, this one right here that I have is part of it. And I look at that and I'm like, there's a lot of white veiny things in there, but I think the difference is that machine grinds it up enough you don't see it. Because when you mix it in a food processor, it doesn't necessarily get rid of all the fat pieces. You know what I mean? Like, you get strength. That's what's not good. So I will take careful precaution not to even put it in here, just grind it up. So what I'm going to do is I have a scale. I never use a scale. Never use a scale for doing anything, but for each, I'm going to do 3 batches of chicken patties. Yes, I think 3 batches of chicken patties. We'll do more if we get inspired, but you basically grind them up in a food processor, and I'm going to add, do I do it in a bowl or do it in there? No, I'll do it in a bowl. Do it in a bowl, and I'm going to add half a cup of breadcrumbs, an egg, paprika, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, and then mix it all together real good, and then I'll coat it in breadcrumbs. I'll put it on a cookie sheet and freeze it solid. And then we will use these this has replaced, we used to do, every Wednesday the kids and I would do Chick-fil-A before church. And then we started buying I'm going to say was at Walmart. There was a big family pack of chicken patties. And they used to be like $8 or $9 for a lot, so that was a deal. Now they're much more, and it's basically, it's not like a Chick-fil-A, but it's more like a McDonald's chicken sandwich, I would think, from what I remember, McDonald's chicken. And it was good, but then the last time I got it, which was years before when we moved here, and I was like, ooh, the chicken was just a whole lot yucky, whether they change it or whether I'm noticing things that are more processed than not, and so I'm just like, just not good. So they like this, kids really like it. I will make sure, sometimes I struggle with making them bigger, so I'll just definitely make them flatter because they are better flatter. And then when you go to cook them, you just cook them up, fry them on the stove. I guess you could put them in the air fryer too. I never thought about that. I usually just cook them in a little bit of oil and fry them on each side. So either way, so let's get some chicken out here. We'll chop it up. I'm gonna weigh it, measure out well, I guess I'll see how much this bag is, and then I'll measure it out so we have 6 pounds to make our chicken patties. right, I'm mistaken. I was like, these aren't really any bigger than Walmart. They do have a boneless jumbo breast. These are not. These are just skinless chicken butterfly for $65. When I cut the other one here that's frozen, you'll see it's much bigger. I'm like, these look just like Sam's Club. So, no worries, no big deal. So I still have a pile of yuck right here. You could probably work around and make that, you know, I'll even weigh it to see how much I'm wasting to go, okay, to me, that's okay, because I got a scale. Let's do all this. So I want to measure this out, stick it in here. All right, so if you didn't hear me, so that was about 6 pounds, almost 6 pounds right there, and I wasted 1 pound. So I spent, it's like what, $1.65 per pound. So if you got 6 pounds, you only waste 1. To me, that's not a bad deal. So, and then I weighed this out, it's about 2 pounds. So that gives me about 8, almost 8 pounds, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 meals, so about 8 pounds. That's good, because I was gonna do times 4, so that actually works out. So let me get a bowl out, put this stuff in the blender, and we'll just puree it up. Not bad for, I totally would have never guessed that to be that. So the scale is a good thing. Okay, let's get this all working here. So this is great because there's no chunks of like veins in there. So that's the only problem when you're doing certain chickens, you get those veins in there and it just makes it, you take a bite and you're like, ugh, like anybody. And maybe people don't mind veins. Fat balls. I was traumatized as a kid with fat balls. I still remember eating, we would get Wendy's. Every Friday night was Wendy's. We would get Wendy's and I still remember biting into a burger and the fat ball. I remember that taste, which is gross. I know, it's a mental thing. And then over the years, I've had chicken certain places and I had that and I was like, oh, I even had a Panera sandwich a while ago and I had chicken and I've been eating theirs and it was good. And I had it, I bit into a fat ball and I was like, I'm so done, so done. So I don't like fat balls. I know that my kids, when they eat it, they do the same thing. Even though I don't mention the fat ball thing, it's just natural to know fat balls. Now my husband doesn't mind fat balls. He likes the fat, thinks it takes add flavor to it. Me, I don't. So this is good. So this is 4 pounds, so this is 8 pounds, right? 8 pounds. So I'll do it times 4. I'll add, normally it's like 4 eggs. I'm gonna add 1 more just for a good measure. Measure the rest in here, mix it all up. It'll be delicious. Form it into patties. I usually sprinkle my cookie sheet with breadcrumbs and kind of put the patties on it, kind of flop them on there, put them over here, freeze them solid. It's great. All right, when I say fat balls, I mean things like this. As I'm mixing it, it's like little pieces that got, you know, stick in there and like this. I don't know how this big one got in here, but it did. So when you bite into your sandwich, it's like, yuck. You know what I mean? So this is good. Mixed real good. Smells good. Sometimes, this is how we originally made it. And then sometimes I just get, like when I have to make them during the week or whatever, I just usually add like, the Old Bay seasoning, and then sometimes we'll add hot sauce. The kids like that too. But this is the original one. So let's put some breadcrumbs on a cookie sheet, pat them into patties, and smush them down, and we'll freeze them. Okay, so I ended up with a whole lot. Normally when I did 2 pounds, I did enough for that meal, but I had more kids eating too. So this is giving me 42 of these. So I will take 6 patties per meal because I have 4 kids. They'll have 1 patty. There's 2 extra over if I want 1. Greg wants 1 or he wants 2. That'll be good. So that's how I'll package. So either packages of 7 or packages of 6. I'll probably do packages of 7. Then we'll have an extra one in there. That'll work out. So packages 7 because there's 6 of us, roughly 7 of us. So that'll work out. Okay. So 7 of us. I'll have 6 packages when these are frozen out. So I'm gonna go put these in the freezer. All right, now we're gonna move on to more chicken. So what I'm gonna do, I just looked at my chicken tenderloins. They are perfect little tenderloins. So I'm not sure what yet I'm gonna be doing, how I'm gonna cut things up. I gotta cut some up for chunks for recipes, and then I also have to I'm gonna make a chicken cordon bleu. We made this a long time ago. I never really flattened my meat, but now I'm older, determined to flatten my meat better. So basically I'm gonna take some chicken breast here, since I have those gigantic ones, cut them real thin, flatten them out, and then I've got some ham and I've got provolone. I'm gonna put that on there, roll it up, and then put them inside a plastic bag. I have to look it up. I think they put it in plastic wrap to kind of freeze and hold its shape, and then they dipped it in breadcrumbs. So maybe I'll see if I do the breadcrumbs before or after I freeze it. So let's get out some chicken here. Let's just cut some good ones. If I have extra that's like doesn't cut real evenly, I'll just put it aside for chunks for any of the meals I'm gonna be making. That took some time pounding, and I still don't know if I'm that thin on it. We'll see as we roll them up. But basically, I'm going to take one. I was going to wrap it in plastic wrap, but I got so much parchment paper. I think I'm going to do parchment paper because I'm going to freeze it. So I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, put my chicken in it. I got to season it a little bit with, I'll do salt, pepper, and garlic from Kinder's. And then I'm going to put a piece of ham and a piece of provolone cheese on it. And then I'm going to roll it up, and I'm going to roll this parchment paper up real tight, basically, so that it can freeze like in a log. Does anybody remember we used to get the chicken cordon bleu, and they were, I guess it would be like, it reminded me more of a chicken patty, the texture of the meat, and they filled the inside. Does anybody remember that? You could make that too, but I feel like I tried that before. It's a little bit more difficult to try to get everything stuffed inside. So I'm sure I could if I took the time, but I think this is gonna work. And then I'll freeze it solid. When we go to make it, I will do a breading station. I'll do some flour, spices, egg, and I'll do some panko crumbs. I gotta get some panko. That's on my list. Panko. See how I remember things as I'm doing this video? Panko crumbs, and then we will do it and roll it in there, and then we'll either bake in the oven, air fryer, or we can put it in oil and fry. Either way will be good. So let's do one. We'll see how this is here. Let's see. Let me get out my seasoning here. Just take the lid off so I can just grab it. So I'm gonna, let's see, if we just put one on here. Good seasonings. We'll do one side, we'll do the other. Since this is the firmer side, let's try this. So I'm gonna take a piece of ham. It's okay if I touch everything because this is a little bit skinnier, so I'll probably have to fold that way. Oh wait, I gotta go long ways? Hold on a minute, because I'm gonna have to go long ways on this one. That's gonna be a tiny one. Unless we do it this way. Maybe I can just do it this way. I don't know. Let's see here. The reality is the chicken is not going to be perfectly the right size every single time unless you cut off the chicken. So I guess I could do that, but I don't mind. So I think this is going to work. You basically need it in like this. I was thinking more longer, but it's okay. I can have a little like this. That's fine. So I'm going to freeze those solid, and then I can take them off, or I can probably just leave them in the paper. Probably leave them in the wrappers, just put them right in a freezer bag, and then when we go to make them, I will take those off and we'll bread them, bake them in the oven, and I have a sauce to make. It'll be good. So I'm going to make a few more. I think I've got 10 total, 5 for each meal. That'll be enough, and then that'll work. So let's make some more. All right, so this is good. What I was doing was rolling part of the chicken breast. Some has more like, I'm going to say the clear fatty side. It's not really fatty, but it's like a thin layer, where the other side was a little bit more meat. So I was trying to roll the nicer side on the outside, and that made it a little bit more difficult. Then I flipped over and did the other way. It rolled better. So when the smoother side, if you guys know what I'm talking about when you're doing it, roll that on the inside. That works better. So I think they're going to be great. They're going to be great, whatever. They're going to be awesome because these are going to freeze solid. I've got 5 each. It doesn't seem like a lot, but in reality, this will not be like, I just have 3, sometimes 4 eating here for dinner for kids. And then just 2 adults. And sometimes I don't always have this. I always have something else. Usually, sometimes I have some other things, but I'll have some of it to try it. So 5 and 5, 2 meals. We'll try it, see if everybody likes it. That's what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go throw these in the freezer so they can freeze solid. All right, so I've got this, still a lot of this chicken. I think it's probably divided into 40 pounds, 10 pounds each. So I've got probably 25 pounds of chicken here. I'm just gonna cut this up into chunks. So what we can do with it, I have written down. Basically, we would do about 2 to 2.5 pounds per meal. I wrote down to do an Asian stir fry, like with our stir fry noodles. That was really good, and lo mein noodles. Another one was soy honey glazed chicken. We really liked that a lot. And then honey and mustard, that was something different. And then honey sesame, that was yummy. And then I saw a recipe in somebody's blog, and it was for chicken corn bowls. Basically, to take the chicken and cook it, they gave like a Mexican fiesta with lime kind of juice recipe to cook, and then served it with rice. Had guacamole on the side, and then that roasted corn. Remember the roasted corn I got at the Gordon's? It had that, and I'm like, that'll be something different. So I have that written down. And then sweet and sour chicken. We like it deep fried, and they really enjoy that. So basically I have 1, 2, 3. I have 6 meals planned out. That'll only be 12. If I do 6.5, that's gonna be like 15 pounds of hamburger. There's still a lot in here. So basically I just cut this into chunks, and then try to do smaller. I won't do my thin machine because I don't want them super small. Or do I? Could I do super small? No, because when you deep fry them, it's hard to do that. So I will just get those together, cut them up, we'll put them in bags, and then I have a whole box, 40 pounds still of tenderloins. So the tenderloins I'm gonna save for, I'm gonna go cook a bunch of my smoker. So since they're already like perfect looking size, I'll cut those in the smoker, and then I can make fajita meat. And I'm gonna cut that up for a ready-made, and maybe we'll cut some up for doing tenders or something. Like we can do chicken tenders. That would be really good too. So I'll probably get those because it'll just be easier. So let's cut the rest of this chicken up in chunks. It's just gonna be happy cutting for a little bit. All right, kids and I are watching House of David right now while I'm cutting up all this chicken. So I got it all cut up. So I have a huge bowl. That was the rest of that. I still have another case of 40 that I got to work with, but this is all in chunks. We'll use it for various dishes, batter them, cook them in the oven, whatever we want to do, or shred them up for like soup, things like that. So I'm just going to weigh them out roughly and put them in quart bags and freeze them. Okay, so I've got 10 packages. So this was 2.5 pounds, so that would be 25 pounds. So that's awesome. I was even thinking I probably could have done it in quart bag or gallon bags and made it flatter, and then it wouldn't be so long to thaw, but that's okay. You know what I mean? It's like one of those like, what should I have done? But no worries, it'll take up less space, I guess. Either a big chunk or a big flat, but possibly do flatter for the other ones. So now I'm gonna put these in the freezer, and then we're watching the David, what's it called? House of David. So I don't want to talk too much in between. So now I'm gonna get out the tenderloin pieces. And so what I'm gonna do for those is take out some so that I'm gonna marinate some because I wanna be able to cook some when we have our drumsticks at the same time. So I'll put some in a bag for meals for that. And then I want to do a bunch just in the grill and grill it and make fajita meat because we really like that just for grab and throw on a salad, grab for lettuce wraps or whatever. So lots of seasoning. That'll make it good. Let it sit in there and then we'll put it on the smoker today. All right, anybody else getting tired besides me? I'm like, oh my goodness, my back's getting a little bit sore, but that's okay. Those tenders, there was a lot more to cut off and take care of. Will I do those again? I don't know. We'll see how they do. I was thinking, oh, it'd be easier just because you got to take out that one the vein that goes through the middle. I know there's a trick to do it, but it wasn't working for all of them. So I'm like, you know what? It's okay. So I have 4 bags because I was sitting here. I'm like, this is taking me forever, but I'm like, I need to get my chicken marinated. But I need that bowl that they're in. So I'm gonna put a bunch of spices in there, fajita meat spices, and then mix it so I can stick it in my refrigerator because the refrigerator is empty. It's good when you don't have a lot stocked up so that you have the space like my freezer as well. So I'm gonna do that and then let it sit, marinate so I can get it on the smoker here. And then I'll cut up, I've got one more huge bag in here of tenders. Oh my goodness. So much chicken, so much chicken. It's great though, very thankful for it. So let's get our spices out. All right, lots of seasoning. So you want your stuff to taste good? Season, season, season. That is what is gonna make everything delicious. When you buy it at the store, it's got nice, and you see all the little seasonings on it because it's that good. That's why it tastes good in the restaurant. It's not plain. So I just did oil and lime juice for mine, and all those little spices in there. Is it authentic fajita? No, it's what I have in my pantry. So as I'm doing this, I keep seeing little veins, but I think we'll be good. We'll be good. So I'm just gonna stir this, mix this up, put it in my refrigerator, let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll put it in the smoker and cook it. And this will be great for ready-made chicken. We will grab this out for anything, is all the way from chicken, pasta, and broccoli to Korean lettuce wraps, taking it and then flavoring it, seasoning it with like soy sauce and ginger and stuff for that kind of stuff. There's like a whole lot. You can do soup, even soups. So it's delicious. And way cheaper than the store. All right, let's come outside for a change. Oh, it's beautiful outside. It is gorgeous outside. Warm breeze, sunny. That's a good thing. All right, so the food, oh my goodness, there are so many tenders. I feel like I took a lot off to waste. So will I do tenders ever again? In reality, they were still pretty cheap. They were, I think they were $1.77 a pound, way cheaper than the store. But I'm like, maybe I'll just get the breast and cut them. It's just easier. It just took a lot longer because there were so many little pieces. So live and learn. That's the beautiful thing. So now the last thing to do is smoke the chicken. So I'm going to put this on here at a low temperature and just let it cook for hours today. I don't have to worry about it or do anything. So that's going to be really good. I'm laughing because I think as I was cutting so much stuff. I feel like some got the throwaway pieces in this one. Same thing when I was cutting the little tenderloins and put them in a bowl. I'm like, I just got confused. You know, you're just doing it mindlessly. So I think I threw a couple end pieces. I'm like, that doesn't look good. That's a lot of chicken. I was gonna throw it all in there, but I'm like, you know what, let me wait. I forget it's tenders, not the breast. The breast I would cook low and slow for hours. It's not gonna take that long. So I'm just gonna leave these in here and then I'll put this in when, so I will put this next batch in when the other one is done. All right, so I think I'm gonna close this video. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow if you wanna see. I think most of you that are here just for the daily vlogs. Maybe some showed back up for a freezer meal, and that's great. Thank you for coming back. And what I will do is tomorrow, we still have to, there's some in the freezer that needs to be like repackaged up. And then I need to organize my freezer according to some kind of order in there, so I kind of find things. So, and the chicken will get done tonight, and then I'll let it sit for a little bit and I'll chop it up and I'll film that as well for tomorrow. So come back tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. This is a long day, long video, long 2 days actually. It's good. We've got 200 pounds of meat, and we did something with it for our freezer that lasts us months, which will be very awesome for our family. So a little bit of investment, but then worthwhile, and it'll be beneficial financially as the months go on. So I hope you enjoyed it. Lots of cooking. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. All right, see ya. Bye.